This week, a fly-by-wire shares some development updates when it comes to the A380. D-Men's released the A10 Thunderbolt, and we take a look at the update release backlog when it comes to in-sim marketplace. We've got you covered with all this week's latest announcements and release news, so let's jump into the video. Before we jump into the nuts and bolts of the video, just under 70% of people that watch the Oz Flight Simmer channel are not subscribed yet. Consider subscribing to stay up to date with all the Flight Simmer news in one place, and thank you very much for your support. Kicking off this week's previews and announcements with I&I Builds as they announce their next airport, which is New York JFK International. JFK is a hub for both cargo and international movements, and their airport has up to 130 gates. I&I Builds a version of JFK is set to have handcrafted ground poly textures to give runways, aprons, paths and roads an authentic look and feel. Outside of the airport, we'll see customer ground decals, signpost, vegetation, parking and more. One of the highlights have been the animated JFK air train, and also the iconic TWA hotel has been modelled inside and out. To add to the high level of detail, the team have included 10 custom jetway types to ensure that the 130 gates are all different. I&I Builds is currently testing JFK and expect to have some previews out within a week for the media. Providing that goes well, we should see a release sometime soon. With some more announcements news from the team over at I&I Builds. This time it's an aircraft which is the Spartan 7W Executive. The Spartan is from the late 1930s and was a luxury of air travel for its time and highly sought after due to its spacious and lavish interior. We don't have much information at this stage about the aircraft's features and systems, but the team has ensured us to expect the same level of detail we are used to from all their other releases. From the looks of it, the Spartan's development is at a very early stage, and we shouldn't expect to see a release anytime soon. Fly-by-wire A330 is one of the most anticipated releases in a flight sim history. The behemoth of a project has been in development for some time now, and recently the team discussed some of their latest developments regarding the project over on the Blue XP YouTube channel. During the interview, the fly-by-wire team showcased some of the level of detail that we should expect throughout the cockpit. From the lights being behind or underneath the buttons to fingerprints left on different switches. It's clear to see the high level of detail that the team is striving for when it comes to the release, and that's why this development is taking a little while. And of course, at this stage we don't have any details around a feature list or a release date, but don't expect this to be released anytime soon. I will leave a link in the description below for the Blue XP YouTube channel where you can check out the full interview, and while you're over there, why don't you hit the subscribe button. Moving over to this week's release news, MK Studios released their latest airport, which is Dublin's Airport version 2. This was originally released all the way back in 2020, but version 2 features a high fidelity rendition of the Dublin Airport. Dublin is a significant hub for Aer Lingus Ryanair with over 250 destinations across the globe, including the Middle East, North America and Europe. In the peak season, Dublin Airport will handle over 1,400 flights per week. This new version of the airport includes optimized crisp textures throughout all buildings and structures with detailed frame rate friendly in mind, detailed true to life apron surfaces, line and paint markings, and included the all new brand new runway 28 right. AVDGS has been implemented, and it's compatible with most aircraft AI plugins and optimized for Microsoft Flight Simulator performance guidelines for PC and Xbox. You can pick up your copy of MK Studios Dublin version 2 airport over on the Orbex website or over on the Sim Market website. Leave a link in the description below. Apex Gaming PCs and the Oz Flight Simmer channel have partnered up to create a range of gaming flight simmer PCs tailored to flight simulation pilots in mind. The private pilot and the commercial pilot range has been designed to provide a great frame rates if you are on a budget or if you're an experienced simmer and want to take your simming to the next level. You can even customize to suit your virtual pilot needs. Links in the description below if you want to check out the new range of Oz Flight Simmer PCs, the private pilot and the commercial pilot. Moving on to our next release, and normally we don't cover freeware aircraft, but in this particular situation we're going to make an exception to this rule. Vrilla A. Platt, hopefully I said that correctly, is the developer behind this project, releasing the Cessna T-37 Tweet. The Tweet is a military training jet that flew for several decades and first was introduced in the 1950s. The Tweet is a twin-engine, two-seat, side-by-side military training jet 4 variants of the aircraft were produced, however the developer has gone with the T-37 Bravo version, which comes with 4 liveries. The package comes with some system failures including engine, canopy and landing light failures. Some of the failures will come with visual effects such as smoke and engine fire. You can pick up your free copy of the Cessna T-37 Bravo tweet from Vrilla A-Plat, and again hopefully I said that correctly, directly from the flightsim.to store, and as always links in the description below. Demons this week have released their A-10 Charlie Thunderbolt 2. The A-10 is a single-seat turbofan subsonic attack aircraft. This was the first aircraft that was specifically designed for close air support of ground forces. The A-10 first flew in 1972, which makes it over 50 years ago, and they are still in service today. Demon's version of the A-10C comes with high-quality 3D model with 4K PBR textures, custom sounds, animated refueling probe. The canopy opens and closes and also has a jettison feature, has vapor trails, multiplayer smoke and wind tip vortex that you can see in multiplayer. The cockpit is animated and designed to work with VR. 12 liveries included, and you can pick up your copy of the Demon's A-10 Charlie Thunderbolt 2 directly from the InSim marketplace. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can go and check a full review from these YouTube channels. Moving on to this week's sim update news. This week we were treated with a new updated wish list. There's no new surprising items here other than the marking off of what was released in sim update 12 and the new items that have been moved to the under investigation section. Seasons and freeware categories in the marketplace are still in development. Power lines, cable cars, the Northern Lights and shared cockpit are still planned, but no developers started with these ones at this stage. But the highlights are now under investigation. Whether or not the team is going to develop them in the sim in a future update is multiplayer models and liveries to be displayed in multiplayer, wing fade effects flying through the clouds, historical weather, force feedback support, I guess that means force feedback support on peripherals, and real world taxiways and signage. The development roadmap this week hasn't been changed at all, but that was to be expected as we did see some major updates last week. This week, the aircraft seem to be flying out of the hangar into the InSim marketplace for the second week in a row. This week, we've seen 14 new products released, 14 of these available on Xbox and 13 of these available on PC. 6 new aircraft this week, including the Demon's A-10 Charlie Thunderbolt 2, which we mentioned in the video earlier. Also, Latins VFR Airbus A320 CEO, the INI builds BF108, Captain Sim Boeing 767-300ER, the Captain Sim Boeing 777-300, and also the Cowan Simulation CS500E helicopter. Other products that were released this week are made up of liveries, sceneries, and mission packs. Currently, the InSim marketplace backlog is totaling up to over 1,000 products. The Microsoft team have now categorized the backlog into 4 different priorities. When it comes to aircraft, we have 1 aircraft in priority 1, 9 aircraft in priority 2, 22 and 20 are in priorities 3 and 4, totaling 52 aircraft that are on backlog. In addition to that, we've seen 303 airports in a backlog, 269 sceneries, and 150 liveries and 69 mission packs to break up the rest of the 1,000. As we mentioned in the last development live stream, the team is now changing the categories of the prioritization, and they're basically looking for quality, not over quantity, when it comes to what they're categorizing in the different priorities. If you got this far in the video, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you on a new video or stream very, very soon. Thank you very much for your support.